Oh yeah, sorry about that. I had to. Somebody was at the door. Um, yeah. What was I talking about now? Blimey, Nick. Oh yeah, about people with dementia. Yeah, and yeah, just mentioning to people, if you've got nowhere to turn as well, see your doctors because it's surely something your doctors can do, especially if you have got dementia and getting aggressive. There's some medication you must be able to go on. You know what I mean? So just see if you can get find out what you can do and the right medication or the right help. Don't be afraid. Just keep phoning, keep knocking them doors, and sooner or later you should be able to get some help anyway. All right. So God bless you all for that. There was someone else I was gonna mention, and it's oh God, sorry, it's gone straight out there. Wow, the joys of having dementia, eh? Yeah, oh, yeah, more dementia. It's at the top. I don't know whether I've said this myself. At the top and at the base, in the cerebellum, and that's why I have difficulties with my balance. I know I did mention, I think, on my last video about drinking a lot of water, and I was told to do that, and it did improve my balance and it did improve my eyesight because I was getting eye fog, and I was getting that probably a year longer before I got diagnosed. But well, I just thought it was me, like everything else, and then it seems to have come back a bit with vengeance. And my balance, and I said to Jan, we went away to Llandudno, I think it was last week, with our friends John and Les for 3 days. And the one day, because I hadn't had a nap on the afternoon, God, I was all over the place. And John says I kept blaming the paths and the gutters was uneven, but I said there was nothing. I says it was just me. So, but I felt, when was it? Yesterday. I was just going down the shop for something, and I know I stumbled, but apparently I scratched my knee a little bit. But I remember stumbling, but I could remember falling over. It was a took back, and I looked at me. I said, you got all blood running down the knee. I said, well, I think I stumbled. I said, well, you must have fell over or banged your knee. But I honestly can't remember doing it. So, yeah, mate, the joys, eh? So, yeah, and that was on my right side. I used to have it on my left side, but it seems to be on my right side now that I seem to totter over a little bit. So, I honestly don't know. I was hoping drinking as much water as I do. I thought that's it. I've cracked it. At least I ain't got balance problems. But again, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and there ain't nothing I can do about it, is there really? So just got to check it. But yeah, I'm still doing all right, and I still go on the Black Country Radio. Me and Jan, we have a wonderful bloke, Billy Spakeman, and once a month he has us on. And the last show we went on, Jan, fair play to Jan, talked about like air views as caring for me. You know what I mean, and what works for us as a team, because that's where it is. It's a teamwork, isn't it? So yeah, but yeah, I'm still having my problems. No different there. Forgetting people's names and people I haven't seen for a long time, not even knowing who they am. But when Jan jogs my memory or they tell me where they know me from, I had to think about it, but it does come to me in the end. Thank God, you know what I mean. But yeah, apart from that, I'm still okay, and I'll just take each day as it comes and do the best I can to enjoy every moment of my life, especially this wonderful sunshine, eh? Ripping, eh? You think Armageddon was coming because I'm forecasting an heat wave, people on the news telling you how to keep cool, how to hydrate yourself. Never heard of that when we was kids. If you get hot, you drink water, or a pint, or whatever. But then again, I say you shouldn't drink alcohol because it can dehydrate you. But you make sure you have water, and if it's too hot, you get out the sun. You don't need a professor coming on to tell you what you need to do, for God's sake. Jesus, what's the world that coming to? We just seem to be a bunch of snowflakes of late. You know what I mean? That everybody's having to be told what to do. Surely it comes down to common sense. Flipping it, get a life. Still, never mind. Sorry, I like a bit of a moan now and again. But, yeah, am I optimistic for the future? Yeah, I am, because I'm still carrying on. It's still early days. I mean, I've heard of people who's been diagnosed with dementia. I mean, with 12 months, they've gone down quite a bit. I mean, you get levelled, mild, medium, and moderate, I think. I thought I was mild, but apparently not. But I looked at my letters again, and Jan told me it's mild, yeah. No, medium, sorry, yeah, medium, freeze. So I'm in between, what do you call it, the thing you've non-retain. So, oh, God knows what will happen when I get to severe or whatever. Flipping heck. Well, I probably won't know about it, as John says. So I'll be wrapped up in my own little world, you know. People say to me, well, why do you make a mockery of it, what you got? You know, it ain't taking a pee out of everybody else, because vascular dementia, any dementia, it's a horrendous disease, but on me, and it's my sense of humour, and it what keeps me going. I mean, when I meet my mate Brian at the club, I did meet him last week, because we was away on holiday. His wife says he was right miserable sod. He was pining after me, because we bounce off each other, you know what I mean? And and we just take the mickey out of each other, you know what I mean? You know, or we have a laugh and a joke, and I'll say, tell him something, and I'll say, oh, I shouldn't have told you that. He says, why? I said, because you'll forget about it in 10 minutes, and he says the same to me, and we just have that rapport, you know, and why not? You know, when you've got a life-limiting disease, and a very terrible disease like this, you've got to try and make light of it while you can, because it's no good being too serious, you know. You've got to do what suits you, and with me and my mate, it suits us, taking a piss out of each other, basically, you know, and we have a good laugh over it, and it's not causing any offence. You know what I mean? So that's why, and even on this video, that's why I like make a laugh and a joke about it, because it's no good me sitting here, is it, in front of you, like crying my eyes up and woe is me and feel sorry for me, and go into a world of my own and shut myself off from everybody, because what's going to happen? It's just going to get worse. You know what I mean? And we've got to try and keep active, and we've got to try and keep our spirits up for as long as we can. It's like a battle. And I explain this to other people. I have a battle with me inside, and I'm damn well sure this dementia ain't going to beat me, not at the moment, you know, because there's certain things I do. And then Jan will say to me, John, can you remind me so and so? And I'll say, come on, you're taking a piss, me remind you. But little did I know that the crafty toad, she does it on purpose. It's how that she forgets. She does it on purpose to see if my memories, you know what I mean. And then sometimes I do remind her. And I says, oh, well done, I forgot about that. But I realised that he was just testing me. And I just say, wicked. I says, JB1, dementia nil. Well, I'll call it Trevor, because our mates, Jan's best mate, Leslie and John, we nicknamed it Trevor. So I always say, JB1, Trevor nil, you know. So it just sounds better, don't it? Instead of saying dementia, it's a nickname, we've got Trevor. So Trevor's stuck. So anybody who knows me whose name's Trevor, please don't take an insult. It's just a name that our mate give us. All right, but yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, you've got to do your best. I'm doing the best I can to be of service to people. I'm trying to start a dementia group up at our church, as I've said, at the Dyfieldson Spiritualist Centre, and I've had permission off the committee. Oh, excuse me, I forgot. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I hope I got man flu coming on. I've got a bit of a cold, and you may have noticed I've got a bloody lurgy around my mouth. You know, I get this cold sore every single year round about this time of year, so, and I can't shave, so that's why I'm looking a bit stubbly there, but still, not the end of the world. Hopefully it'll disappear in a few days. But, sorry, I threw my thought what I was talking about again now. Yeah, oh, how I'm doing. Yeah, as I say, I do have my good days, I do have my bad days. And sometimes I think, like, even people who get aggressive with a dementia, I think, unless it's frontal lobe dementia, I think what it is, it gets frustrating. That's the only word I could say. I get frustrated. Like, I know a lot of people say, well, I must have dementia, I do that. No, you ain't. Some people are forgetful. And I always say to somebody, even when they say it to me jokingly, well, if you have, go and get yourself checked, you know, because that ain't nothing to say. You think you've got it and do nothing about it. But I can go in the kitchen for something, and by the time I've got up off my chair, walked in the kitchen, I thought, what the Hanover have I come in for? And sometimes I had to ask Jan, or I stand there looking around, and I had to sit down and think, it's gone out my head, and sometimes it comes back, sometimes it don't. But when I have bad days like that, it gets worse, and I get... the more it gets worse, the more the brain fog comes on, and then the more my short-term memory is, because, you know, I have got pretty bad short-term memory. But Jan's even said of late has noticed that, especially being away, that I stare off into space quite a few times, you know, and I know, again, that's part of the dementia. You seem to have a bit of a brain block, because my mate Brian, he's exactly the same, bless him. You know, again, obviously, I'm not aware I'm doing it, you know, and who did that on purpose anyway? Apparently, Jan says I'm there, I can be talking in mid-conversation, I suddenly get quiet, it says I stare at summer, and he shouts me, he says I don't hear her until she touches me or grabs my arm and says, John, you all right? And it's like, how can I explain it? It's like you've had a micro sleep for a few nanoseconds, and it's like you've just woke up and totally forgot what we've been talking about. And then they had to remind me, but it don't last long. It's only a few moments, you know, but that seems to be coming on quite frequent, and also having conversations with people and not always staring at the wall. I can be talking, and then I'll make it quiet, and then I forgot what we've been on about, and I had to remind her, what was we just talking about? And that's happening quite a bit, but hey-oh, you know, it's part of the journey, ain't it? You know, and look, people, I mean, I do thank everybody for the wonderful comments when I done my last video in sunny Spain. The sisters and brothers, well, sister-in-law and brother-in-law's place, which we did have a good time. Yeah, I had a few moments myself out there, but, you know, hey-oh, it's life. But I'd just say to people, you know, I'll just try and turn a very, very bad negative into the best positive I can. And on my journey, I just want to help as many people as I can. You know, I don't do it for pats on the back. I've said this before, for praise. Yeah, it's nice when people give you a hug and say, well done with your video. I've really enjoyed watching that. You know, it's helping so many. Yeah, it makes my heart sing. You know what I mean? Because that's me. I just like helping people. End of. You know. And it does me good as well, especially when people get back to me, or, oh, John, you know, the advice you gave me was really good. It's like, forgive me again if I have mentioned this, but there was one woman contacted me and on about her husband, they was arguing all the time, and was having a go at him. He's got dementia. He was having a go at her. What are you arguing about? I says, oh, he always thinks he's right and this and the other. He says, and I had to correct him. I said, well, stop. I said, what do you mean? This is not talk on phone, this was messaging. I said, well, stop. I said, stop correcting him and just stop correcting him and just agree with him. As long as your safety ain't compromised, isn't. And anyway, long story short, she's done that, and she contacted me like a few weeks after and says, how well them doing that, they don't argue no more. Says whatever he says, I just agrees with him. Because I did say, I says probably he'll freaking forget it after, you know. So it's worked for them. So again, to everybody out there who have got a loved one, whatever dementia they got, and they say something like they think it's Friday, but it's on a Monday, don't correct them, just say, or if you say, oh, sorry, you was right, yeah, it is Friday, because what does it matter? We ain't got to score points against somebody, just agree with them all the time, and if it makes them happier, and it keeps them calm, because really, what you have to do, and I understand this more now, with people with dementia, they ain't got to go into your world, you've got to try and go into their world, you know what I mean, the best way you can, and try to think in a way how they think, which I know might sound impossible, but it can be done, because when I'm having a bad day, Jan talks to me on my level, the way I'm feeling, You know what I mean? Obviously, because we're so close, and Jan's only got to look in my eyes, and I can tell that straight away I'm having a bad day. Like, I'm getting all uptight, and I wouldn't say down or depressed. I don't think I'll get like that anymore, to be honest. But just down, and it brings me down, and the more down I get, the more anxiety I get, and the worse my brain fog gets, and the worse my memory gets, and it's like a snowball effect, and then my eyes get clouded. You know, it's just one of them things. I've got what I call eye fog, and I have been to a specialist about it, eye people, and he says I'm afraid it's obviously seems nothing wrong with your eyesight. It's from your brain that causes it. Your dementia can cause it, but luckily I won't be blind, so I suppose that's a good thing. But sometimes it really, really pees me off, because it's like having Vaseline smeared over your eyes, and you just cannot see properly. But again, thank God, it don't last for hours. It just comes and goes. You know what I mean? And as I say, as long as it does that, that's the main thing. I'm just looking at the time of the video. I did start one till my doorbell went off, so I'm hoping this is the second part to it. If not, I'll have to put part one and, well, get Jan to put part one and part two on. But, you know, yeah, I mean, people say how brave I am, and I don't class myself as being brave. I mean, it's like my mate, Mark, bless him, he's got terminal cancer, he's got prostrate and in his spine, but thank God it's very slow, but his prostrate levels have come down with all the medication he's had and the treatment, but he could have no more treatment. And bless him, he says to me, he says, John, with what you've got and I've got, he said, do you feel like we've got a ticking time bomb and you just don't know when it's going to get off? Blow up, like with his cancer could suddenly explode, or my head could suddenly explode and I'm totally away with the fairies. I says, yeah, I says, it does get to me. I said, but we've got to try and stay positive, you know. I mean, I suppose, although he's terminal cancer, mine's vascular dementia, in a way, we've both got like a life-limiting disease, knowing that unless we get run over by a bus, sooner or later it's going to get us, ain't it? But I just said to him, I said, let's just make the most of each day, and that's what he does now. He goes here, there and everywhere with his wife when he's feeling good, you know. He's all about having a few more holidays abroad and holidays in this country and that. And I says, you know, what's the point in saving money? You know, cash your pensions in, do what you can. Yeah, make sure your loved one's reasonably okay, but spend it. You know what I mean? Look, we do. We don't make look, Jan says, we don't plan nothing like months in advance now. You know what I mean? The most we might plan is about 2 months in advance, because, as I said, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't want to go abroad no more. Well, only to my sister-in-law's, because that's only, it was just over 2 hours flight, and like we've been to Mexico, Cuba, all over the place. I couldn't take that, going away that far now, with the journey of the planes and all the hassle. It just gets to me too much, you know what I mean? And obviously I've said to Jan, there's nothing stopping her doing it. I said to her, right, I'll soon find somebody to go with her, as long as I always make sure I'm looked after, bless her. You know, and I was going away Friday actually to Spain with her best friend Liz, and luckily our Anne-Marie and my grandson's staying to look after me, and then she goes to get away, I think, in July, I think, or August, with our Anne-Marie, you know, and I'll pay for it just for a thank you for all that she does for us, you know what I mean? And then when I sorted it out, I was sitting there thinking, I thought, hang on a bit, if they too go away, who's going to look after me? And I panicked. And bless him, our Rowan, you've heard me talk about our Rowan, he's only 10, and he said, don't worry, Grandad. He says, I'll be off school. He says, I'll come and look after you. Oh, God. I know why he said that, because he'll know I can't drive no more, that we'll be catching taxis most days here, there and everywhere, and I'll be spending shitloads of money on him. That's why he's offered to look after me, bless him. Nah, but his heart's in the right place. And I did have a very good friend of ours as well. She's like my big sister Lynn, offer to Jan, which really touched me, and says, you know, if you think John's not going to cope on his own, he lives in Starport, bless her, he says, I could easily get somebody to come and look after me cats, and I'll gladly come and look after John for a week, you know what I mean? And that touched me, that did. But you know, obviously, as a like other people, if I need them, you know what I mean. But I should be all right. I mean, having the baby, and I've got my next door neighbour Irene, and then Leslie will be about because I'm going to do a few jobs painting if the weather's nice in her garden. Just keep myself busy, because I know I'll be ticking the hours and the days down with Jan being away. I suppose I'm like a lost puppy sometimes when I'm here. You know, my mum did used to say, says, John likes to be mothered, and I must admit, Jan mothers me, well, and mothers everybody. You know, everybody loved Jan as a stepmom or a mum, I tell you. Loads of people have said it because of the way she is. God bless her, and I wouldn't change her for the world, you know. But it is what it is, and we get looked after all right. So as long as you've got that and a loving family, that's all we can ask for, ain't it? You know, so... I know I've rambled on a bit. I do pray and hope that doing these videos do help people, because you know at the end of the day, that I know I keep repeating myself, sorry, but at the end of the day, that's all I care about. You know what I mean? And watch this space for our charity Fishing Do, and when Jan gives me all the proper information, or she can come on and do it, and I will mention it on Billy's Black Country Radio show as well next month when we're on. And come along, and hopefully we'll have a wonderful day, because he's going to be hopefully face painting and different things going on. And a lot of people have gave for raffle prizes, some really good raffle prizes. Mate Gareth, who's got his own business, he's donated, now I don't know what it is, it's some furniture stuff, like I don't know what you call it, but it's £350 worth if you was to buy it at a shop, and he's donated that to us for the raffle for the charity. And there's been paintballing offered, camping for 2 days free, but you've got to take your own tent, obviously, and all different things. So you know what I mean, that it's a like tat, it's a like a bottle of wine that nobody wants to drink. It tastes like vinegar, or a picture frame that nobody wants. You know what I mean? And not disrespecting anybody who has raffle prizes like that, but they are, excuse me, they are going to be fantastic raffle prizes. So, you know, but we'll let you know when all that's going to come on. And obviously when Jan sorts out, like we've sorted out with the church, as I mentioned, with our President Pauline Marshall and the committee, that we've got the go-ahead. So it's just a matter of finding out what date we can pick, and like who wants to come, because it'd be pointless or organising it all and just me and Jan sitting there twiddling our thumbs and nobody turns up. Again, I'm only doing it, we are only doing it for people out there who ain't got nowhere to go or can't find a place to go to, and if they live local to the centre, then wonderful, you know, just come along, and it'll be £2 a head. I think I've said before, we did toast, unlimited tea, unlimited coffee, and £2 a head ain't bad, because all that is for opening up the doors, and I don't get nothing out of it. I'll be supplying it myself free of charge, you know. The church will get whatever money we raise to keep the doors open and that, you know. So yeah, watch this space and people, and see. I'll let you know with some more dates. So fingers crossed. Hopefully, I'll be doing my 6th video next month. So thank you all for listening. Feel free. Somebody did ask me about this. Like it says, well, they wanted to share my videos, but they had to ask permission off me first, and I said, do you? So if any of you who's listened to my videos or thought, oh, I'd like to share that, but better not, please feel free to share it, because it ain't me. I ain't a TikToker. I don't want to get recognised, you know, all the likes, which I understand. I'm certainly not an influencer, you know, I ain't got that in me. But please feel free, if you wish, to share my videos, because it might reach somebody who's out there who'll think, oh yeah, I'll come along to that church, or I'll come along to that dementia group, you know. And at the end of the day, that's all it's for, helping others and doing the best we can, and me doing the best I can for as long as I can. So again, thank you all for listening. May God bless you all, and fingers crossed, see you in a month's time. Okay, bye then. Hi all, good afternoon. For those who don't know, my name is John Blundell, and I do a video every month, and this is my 5th video on my own personal journey with vascular dementia. But it's my wife's birthday today, and we're going out to celebrate it with just a meal and a couple of drinks. So happy birthday, Jan. Love you loads, and thank you for everything you do for me. I usually do it once a month, and I know it's been a little bit less than a month, but I just feel it's important to talk about a few things. So please bear with me. For those who might be seeing this for the first time, I was diagnosed last year with vascular dementia, and because I was 59, well, I'm still 59, I'll be 60 next month on the 24th. Wow, big 6-0, can't believe it, and I'm still here, thank the Lord. Yeah, I was diagnosed last year, and because when you get diagnosed under 60, it's classed as young onset dementia, especially because I don't really have any, can I say, health problems. You know, or I don't have blood pressure, I don't have cholesterol, this and the other. You know, never had a stroke, but it's just one of them things. I mean, I am on blood pressure and cholesterol tablets and aspirin and this and the other. But as my doctor says, the reason why I'm on all this medication, it's just a precaution, really. You know, just to make sure that I don't get anything like that, because obviously it can lead, people with dementia, unfortunately, can lead more to stroke or heart attack. And I think I have mentioned before, my dad passed away just over a year ago, I think, something like that, and he had vascular dementia, but he was in his mid-80s and he passed with a heart attack. But hey, yo, if I can reach 80, that'd be a miracle. But yeah, plus I do these videos just to try and help people, really. You know, it's not always about me. I just talk about the way it affects me and the family life and different things and how I feel. But I mainly do it as well to be of service to help other people out there, you know, because I don't know why, but I seem to be hearing a lot more of people getting dementia. I mean, I know it was only in the 90s that it really got recognised, I believe, through scans and various tests now, blood tests. But I don't know whether I've mentioned this before, so forgive me if I have. But I checked it. There's about 200 different types of dementia. The most common one is dementia, and the second common one is what I've got, vascular dementia. But apparently, vascular dementia is the most life-shortening one. So, you know what I mean? But I ain't got to worry about that. I've done all my tears and crying and feel sorry for myself. We got to live each day as if it's the last, and as long as I know who I am and I know who my family is, that's a bonus to me every single day, you know, and I make the most of my life. But I've joined a few groups, actually, on dementia, you know, on Facebook, and some of the stories I hear, it makes me so sad, you know, how people are struggling with their loved ones, that there don't seem to be enough care out there to help them, and dementia groups, and it really saddens me, because I must admit, I couldn't ask for any better care, any better help I've had from the dementia club I go to you know, benefit officer, and be appointed my own dementia person, who, if I ever have any problems or jam whatsoever, we just phone them up and they try and do the best to sort whatever it is out. So I suppose in a way I'm very lucky, whether it's because of the area some people live in and there's not enough funding for that, I really don't know. While it's in Maid, a friend of mine, Brian, and his wife Lisa, is doing a charity event down Stourport, and it's for our dementia group. But again, Jan's in the shower and I haven't got the details, but details will follow, because all the money we can try and raise will go back into our group, because there's just not enough funding for people with young onset dementia. You know, it seems to be quite a bit of funding, and I'm not disrespecting them whatsoever. The older generation who have it, there seems to be more things they can do and that, but with young onset, they are a great deal out there, and that's why I think on my last video I mentioned about that at our local spiritualist church in Albury, the Dorothy Hudson Spiritualist Church, on a Thursday, and again, details to follow. We're going to try our best to set up on a Thursday morning, like, for a few hours, a bit of a dementia club for young onset dementia, where people can come and talk to other carers, because it's very helpful, that is, if you can talk to other carers, and also people with dementia, if you can talk to them. Because my mate Brian, we've become really pally, and Jan and his wife Lisa, we've grown very fond of each other in a short time. Because Brian's got mixed dementia, which till he told me, I didn't even realise you can have mixed dementia. He's got dementia and vascular dementia, so I suppose I'm all lucky that I got it mixed, but it doesn't mean it's the end of your life, because you can still live for many, many years with it. I think I have mentioned, and please believe me when I say this, there's a chap at our club who's had dementia for 15 years, and you wouldn't even think he'd got it. I think I have said that. I thought he was a volunteer making the teas. I couldn't believe it when he told me. I said 15 years, and that gave me hope. But, he's got all his, seems to have all his, can I say the word, faculties, and he don't seem to drift out me and my mate does, but I suppose everybody's different, ain't they? You know what I mean? But, what I did want to talk about, it's made me very sad about some of the comments I've seen on this group, and there's one woman, obviously, things like that, bar from my mates, I don't like to mention people's name, and I was on about her husband, like, he's got vascular dementia, and saying how aggressive he's getting, and it's like, has come to her wit's end, so I messaged her, and mentioned about what type of dementia, because sadly, if you have frontal lobe dementia, that's in the part of your brain that controls your thoughts and your emotions, and obviously vascular dementia disrupts them signals, and that's what can make people aggressive. Because my dad's, bless him, he used to get quite aggressive, and his wife had to take him, I remember it, had to take him to the doctors and get him on medication. But at the beginning, the medication they give him, it was too high, and it zombified him. And I said, my dad looks like he's half dead. He'd just sit there, falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep, waking up. So they went back. I don't know what medication it was, but I took him back, and they halved it. And it really helped me dad. It just kept him just low level. Yeah, and like, he could still talk, he could still move a bit, he could still communicate, but he wasn't falling to sleep all the time. And I did mention it to this poor woman on the site I was on, the dementia site, and hopefully it'll be of some advantage. I said, just try your hardest to get your loved one to the doctors, or have a talk with somebody and see if there's if there's some medication he can get on, because at the end of the day, people with dementia, their loved ones who care for them, have got to think about their own safety, and also the safety of the loved one who's got dementia, and sadly, if the time comes where you can't cope, especially if you're getting on in years, or the aggression's getting that bad, and waking up all time, got hours of the morning, night, you can't function like that. And if you had to make that terrible, sad decision of putting them in home, and so be it. You only make that decision, put them in home now, get rid of them. You only do it because you can no longer cope. And to me, I've said to my wife, if God forbid in the future I get like that, I'd rather shove me away. You know what I mean? Because that'd be the best place for you, and you get the better. I suppose you get the 24-hour professional care as well. That is needed. So if anybody's on that journey or having to make that horrible decision, please try and not feel guilty about it, because your loved one is in the best place, and obviously you still go and see them every day and that, but it gives you a break as well, because it can be quite demanding, because I know myself that I can drain Jan sometimes with the way I am, because she's got her own health problems with her mobility, is on 2 sticks now virtually round the house, a scooter if we're out, and we often joke that I'm her hands and legs and she's having to be my brain, but it's working okay so far. But I do have my problems, and is it getting worse? In some aspects, yeah, because I have noticed that my memory, it seems to be slipping sometimes more than it did, and I'm finding it not all the time, sometimes hard to remember people's names, even people I've known for some while or for a long time. And some people, if I ain't seen them for a long time, so I had to look at Jan. Who's that? And then it reminds me, so I know this changes in me, you know what I mean, but I don't really get aggressive. I think what it is with me, because I am on diazepam, but I only take them now and again. It's only 2 mil, and I must admit, it's when I get it tight. Excuse me, I've got to answer the door.